Kim in the booth? Good. Excellent. Call to order this special city council meeting Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Ms. Kent, can you please call the roll?
Ames?
Here.
Copeland?
Here.
Feldman?
Here.
Flaherty?
Here.
Flowers?
Here.
Houseman?
Here.
Rand?
Here.
Rotundo?
Here.
And Guanci.
Here. Councilor Rand, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Estelle. Order number 130 is a resolution from Ms. Judith Cronin. I'm sure a few people want to speak. Councilor Feldman or Councilor Rotundo will wait till the end to read the resolution. Sound good?
Sounds good.
And I think Judith's sister Nancy probably wants to go first.
We're going to have her go after the...
Oh, you're going to go after the resolution? Okay.
Council President.
You know, you might want to let me know these things.
I thought I did. I apologize. I wanted to make you
First
foolish.
day.
I figured you called me out last and I called you out
Already
tonight.
rushing me out the door. All right, so what do you want to do, Councilor Rotundo?
Can we read the resolution first and then go to...
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Where are we going, you or
I'm
Kathleen?
going to let Councilor Feldman read first. I always like to let the ladies go before the gentlemen.
Okay.
Very good.
Paragraph for paragraph?
You can take the first two. We'll go that way.
Okay. We recognize that Judith Cronin is retiring after a long and impactful career serving the city of Beverly and its citizens in various roles for the last 3 decades. Whereas Judith Cronin has a long history of service to the city of Beverly and the members of the community within. She was first elected to the school committee in 2002 and went on to serve 2 terms as a school committee member. As a member of the school committee, she served as both vice president and president, and as an already busy working mother of 2 children.
Whereas in 2008, Ms. Cronin was elected to City Council and went on to serve 2 terms as Ward 6 City Councilor. During her tenure on the City Council, she chaired the Finance and Property Committee. While serving on the City Council, she created a special committee to investigate pilot program with the city nonprofit organization. Ms. Cronin is known and appreciated by her colleagues for running an efficient and organized meeting.
Whereas, in 2010, Judith Cronin became the executive director of the Greater Beverly YMCA of the North Shore. Her career at the Y began in 1996 when she was hired as a group exercise instructor. She became a YMCA board member from 2007 to 2009, and in 2010 accepted the role as executive director. Through Judith's remarkable relationship building and her commitment to the Y's mission, she has developed community partnerships and business collaborations that have helped to elevate the YMCA's role as a vital resource for the entire Beverly community.
Whereas during her time as executive director, the Greater Beverly Y has grown in membership from 8,000 members to nearly 12,000. Among her other numerous accomplishments as the executive director of the Greater YMCA, she led the $6.5 million capital expansion of the Sterling Center Y to serve more members of the community through expansion of health and wellness space, community space, and the creation of an early learning and academic achievement center. Additionally, she created a STEM classroom on site and implemented STEM curriculum into the after-school program, established Girl Power, a program to educate and empower middle school girls by cultivating confidence, self-respect, and developing communication skills, as well as led the launch of WaterWise at the Greater Beverly YMCA, teaching autistic children how to swim with a grant from Arc Tank from Northeast Arc.
Whereas, during her time as executive director, she effectively partnered with other community organizations to positively impact Beverly. She worked in partnership with the Justice Resource Institute and North Shore Education Consortium to lead PASS, Positive Alternatives to Student Support, a support program for at-risk teens which provides a therapeutic environment which support in academics, mental health, and substance abuse. She developed and initiated Project Y, the largest youth community service day on the North Shore, which gives back to and supports 17 nonprofit organizations. She partnered with Beverly Public Schools and the City of Beverly to establish the Greater Beverly Y Summer Learning Loss Prevention Program, designed to keep elementary students on track academically throughout the summer months while tackling the achievement gap. She established and led the Community Coalition and Be Healthy Beverly by securing the YUSA Pioneering Healthier Communities grant to establish raised garden beds at each of the Beverly elementary schools, along with healthy eating in the curriculum.
Judith Cronin's service to the City of Beverly over the last 20 years has been unparalleled. Now, therefore, be it known from the Beverly City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Beverly, wishes to express the utmost gratitude for the hard work and dedication of Judith Cronin in our community. We wish the best for Judith in her retirement, and that she has more time to share with her family, her husband Arthur, their children Elizabeth and Michael, and her granddaughter Kendall. Mr. President, now Nancy can go.
Okay, thank you. Judith, do you want to say anything? I know you do, of course. You're an Italian woman. Oh, I said that, that's bad.
Thank you, counselors. That was unbelievable. It's humbling to listen to your whole career all at one time. It has been my absolute honor and privilege to do the work that I've done for the city of Beverly. It's my home. It's the place that I love. It's the place that I've been able to raise our family, and that my family and children have decided to stay in Beverly and raise their families in Beverly. And you know what they say, once you're a Beverly person, you never leave. So that's, we're proud to be Beverly people, and we will continue to be so. I am just really humbled by the gratitude and kindness shown to me over the past several weeks due to my retirement. I basically was just doing my job. And when you work for a YMCA whose mission is to welcome all, to nurture and educate children, and to promote healthy living in spirit, mind, and body, it's just a pleasure to go to work every day. And the way I describe it, it was joyful, it was humorous, it was full of friendship, community, and a lot of hard work. And I wouldn't change one bit of it. So thank you for recognizing what I consider to be just something I was intended to do, and I had joy in doing it. So thank you very much.
Nancy?
So we have a little thing that we do when these occasions come up, and it's called a poem. And I usually can write speeches and give them, but I have to say poems are a little bit harder, so bear with me. 1960 was quite a year. A new beginning was quite clear. A Massachusetts guy named Kennedy was president. Joni and Jerry knew that baby Nancy needed a companion, a friend, and so it went. Judith Ann Delfonso entered one nightly. She was so tiny and not so very mighty. A black cloud, a drop of rain, the outdoor furniture hid in vain, and the house doors were soon locked, for our tiny Jude did not like the dark. When high school came, she soared like a true panther. She was a cheerleader, a tennis player, who liked her parties, but her real commitment was to her studies. And in 1978, she donned her black blazer. Valedictorian was her reward for focusing like a laser. She then became a Boston College Eagle, joining me at the Heights. Her study was finance and business. The corporate world was in her sights. And then, at an off-campus party, she met Hingham Marty. Soon, Flo would trek to our BevTown, and this BC couple was seen all around. Graduation, digital corporation, and marriage to that South Shore guy. The 1980s were a time for work and building a life, not in BevTown, but in New Hampshire. And we all asked, why? Then her greatest accomplishments, Elizabeth and Mike, welcomed the 1990s with mothering in her plight. Those years were filled with diapers, work, daycare, and reflection, which made our Judith stand to attention. New Hampshire was not cutting it. Her hometown beckoned her back, for the angels knew she needed our Beverly, and that our town needed her right back. Middlebury Lane, right up the street from us, was where this family expanded. right where they were supposed to be. This Cronin family had now landed. The move proved perfect and comforting to our Jude. Coupled with the joy of motherhood, the corporate world would conclude. The many shifts now seemed serendipitous, for they ignited a new chapter. Judith joined the Y as a fitness instructor as the program adapter. The years that followed were filled with her family getting older, and the kids got busy. She yearned for more. Public service beckoned her, and now she was to soar. First, she joined the school committee, from ward rep to the chair. Years filled with challenges, but she stood her ground. She knew the kids were counting on her. They were, of course, the future of our town. After her terms helped grow our schools, she once again needed to explore. How could she help our neighbors and friends have their city do even more? So now the city council drew her in to initiate so much more. Our beautiful town had no idea just how much was in store. But a very wise CEO in 2010 knew who to call when his Beverly Y needed a leader to take the ball. His job was easy once the contact was made. Judith Cronin was about to crusade. I believe that the choices we make, the decisions we follow, get us to where we are supposed to be. The Y found a jewel, and Judith found her passion. Our community is the beneficiary of this amazing attraction. Under her leadership, the growth has been unmatched. The development, the membership, the programs, and more. How many brand new buildings now stand than there were ever before? Tonight, we recognize that tiny but so mighty sister of mine, for she has given her all to our community, and even so, it is her hometown that brought the best out in her. We will really never let her go. She has shared her brilliance, her grace, her compassion, and her downright determination to get jobs done. And now it is her turn to play in the sun. So if you know her as Judith, Judy, Jude, Counselor, or Madam Chair, I'm sure your life has been touched by her beloved flair. There's no one who will fight for you more or be by your side. I know this is true more than the masses, for she was my shadow in our dance classes, but not anymore. She is my advisor, my best friend, and my rock. I know that when it is tough, she is the one with whom you should walk. But those of us who call her wife, mother, nana, sister, aunt, daughter, or friend know she is by our side until the end. A thoughtful answer, a tender heart, a compassionate ear, and sometimes tough love. It is always right, done with such eloquence, smarts, and a little shove. This public servant, our sporty spice, our big boss, has paid the price. So now her days are filled with golf and tennis, trips to Florida and maybe even Venice. But she is ready for the next greatest step with her granddaughter, Kendall, and soon-to-be baby brother. Nana's days will mostly be filled with love for these others. Artie, Liz, Justin, and Mike, thank you for lending us your Judith. She is retiring from a professional legacy of service and success, and now it is time for her to maybe rest. So here's to Judith. We love you to the moon. We thank you, we honor you, and boy, have we loved watching you bloom.
That was the best thing that's happened in this room all year. Really. We've only been here a couple of times, but I don't know how we're going to top that. I guess I would, is there anybody else from the audience that would like to speak or say a few words? know your brother's here. Some of your greatest friends, your kids are here, your husband, of course, your brother-in-law. It's just wonderful. Thank you for, I have to thank Councilor Rotundo and Councilor Feldman for all their hard work. Finding all that information was probably pretty easy because everybody knows how special you are. I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Thank you, Judy. How about entertain a motion to take a brief 5-minute recess?
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we are back. We'll go to communications from other city offices and boards. Ms. Kent? Oh, you need this.
Yeah, you have my. Order number 110, the proposed amendment to the city zoning ordinance, IR zoning district.
And our planning director, Darlene Nguyen, is here to let us know how things went with the planning board last night.
Yes, thank you. I believe you got the letter today. Just wanted to clarify that the vote was 8-1, not 6-1. Apparently need to work on my math, but everybody was in attendance. So, yeah, last night there was discussion. The planning board had continued their public hearing on the zoning change of parcel on Trask Lane from CG, from CG with a little bit of R10 and then a little bit of RSD to the IR district. After discussion, the board voted 8-1 to recommend that City Council approve the zoning change. And so that is, I think, 110A, Order 110A. You have that on your files, so.
In your packet.
Right.
Happy to answer any additional questions.
Any questions
Mine?
for Ms. Nguyen?
I think I've asked as many questions I can of CST and Ms. Nguyen and the neighbors as well, so I'm comfortable with where it's at. Thank
You are. I know.
Yes,
Thank
very
you for all your hard work, Councilor Rotundo. Councilor Copeland?
Thank you. Yeah, I saw when they were having the initial meeting about that. I just wanted to get an idea, the one vote that was against, do we have an idea what that was pertaining to?
Yeah, it was actually a little bit unusual in that most of the planning board members actually took a moment to talk about why they were making their vote, and they don't often do that. I know sometimes council does take the opportunity to do that. That member was not at the first meeting, although did listen to the recording for the first meeting. I think it's important to say that, but had indicated some level of discomfort with the fact that that was related to a single parcel related to a particular business that the zoning change was related to, or that we were working with a particular entity, and that the zoning change would benefit one business. It's a single parcel zoned CG in that area. None of the other parcels around that are zoned like that. So it's a little unique situation. But that's me paraphrasing somebody else's comments just too. So.
Yes, thank you. Like I said, I saw the meeting and the issues and the benefits as well, so that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Houseman?
Actually, that was my question as well, just to understand that a little bit better. I mean, the issue of spot zoning as a concept comes up not infrequently with these kinds of decision-making situations, but it's not, and I'm perfectly comfortable with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Anybody else? Councilor Ames?
Curiously, would it be appropriate for you to share with us who voted against?
Oh, it was in the letter.
Why don't you read the letter?
I have been running all day.
I can read it.
I apologize.
Maxwell. You want to read it, or you want me to read it?
How about you read it? Thank you. I get confused with all the
Forgot
numbers.
to print it out for myself. Dear Honorable Council, the Beverly Planning Board heard testimony on the above referenced request at a joint public hearing with the Beverly City Council held on June 7, 2021, and continued to a public hearing of the Planning Board held on June 22, 2021, at which point the public hearing was closed. Following the public hearing, the Planning Board discussed the proposed zoning map amendment and took the following action. The board voted, I'm correcting, 8-1. Sinclair opposed, to recommend that the Beverly City Council approve City Council Order Number 110 to change the zoning of a certain parcel consisting of recorded and registered land described below from CG Commercial, R10 One Family District, and RSD Special Residential District to IR Restricted Industrial. And then the parcel descriptions are City of Beverly Tax Assessor Map 52, Lot 75, which is 235,573 square feet, and is currently zoned CG and R10, and the portion of Lot 14 located within the City of Beverly, which is 19,024 square feet, as shown on the attached map, and is currently zoned as RSD. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in this discussion. Sincerely, Ellen Hutchinson, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen.
Thank you.
You want to talk some more?
No.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Our friends from Cell Signaling, do you have anything to add?
Thank you. We appreciate the process.
Okay. So I am going to entertain a motion to approve the zoning change.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Thank you for your work, Darlene.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I know, me too, right? No. Zoning change doesn't ordinance change that. Mr. Ailes? What's that? Oh, yeah, no, we have one more from, how many more do we have from?
Just referred.
Okay.
Want me to read it?
You want me to read it?
I'll read it.
I'll read it.
Okay. Read it.
Someone read it.
No, you can read it.
Order number 134, communications from Councilor Houseman for the road management discussion. Dear Honorable City Council, many complaints from city residents have been received by the City Council over a number of years about rodent infestation issues and the city's approach to addressing them. Despite many private and public conversations with amongst city officials and the public on the subject, the city has made no apparent progress or changes in approach or budgetary allowances to deal with this issue. Accordingly, in coordination with Councilor Julie Flowers, as Chair of the Public Service Committee, I'm requesting as Chair of the Legal Commission, focused deliberations by the council on the issue of rodent infestation in the downtown and our residential neighborhoods and possibly approaches to dealing with it. The first step is the deliberation process. We'll be holding a public meeting on Monday, June 28, 2021 at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers to hear from the public directly. The city administration and members of the public are invited to attend and will be given an opportunity to speak. This will be a joint meeting of the Public Service and Legal Affairs Subcommittees. Respectfully submitted, Scott Hausman, City Council, Ward 4.
And I would refer that to the Committee on Public Services and the Committee on Legal Affairs. And that meeting is Monday night at 6:30? 7 p.m. Here.
Here.
28th. Okay. Mr. Ailes, you want to join us up at the podium? So we can acknowledge all your hard work. Now, of course, I need a refresher course since it's been a whole year. Is it just by department, or do we have to go line by line?
So we can vote if you have one of these sheets, correct?
Yeah.
So the committee recommendation that are in bold, those can be voted. You don't need to vote the individual departments within those.
Okay. Anybody have anything to say before we start? Then I would entertain a motion to approve the transfer lines at $2 million.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. I would entertain a motion to approve the total city council budget, which includes the clerk committees, the clerk, and the elections, for $648,856.16.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries 9-0. The executive branch, which includes the executive and the licensing board, for $837,696.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. The reserve for appropriation line item is $1,295,000.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. I'm dying to say roll call, I'm sorry. Municipal finance includes the accountant, information systems, the assessors, the treasurer collector, and procurement, and that budget is $3,244,221.66.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Solicitor budget is $602,468.79.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries 9-0. Human Resources, $224,816.18.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. The planning budget, which includes a Conservation Commission line item, which is the taxes that we pay to Wenham, and the Planning Department at $695,529.20.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries 9-0. Municipal inspections is the building commissioner, the sealer, and the city electrician for $628,341.19.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Public safety, animal control, police, fire, emergency management, and the harbor master for $16,848,568.01.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Engineering is the engineering budget as well as sanitation, and that is $2,963,557.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Public services, something we all care about deeply. Highway, snow and ice. the municipal garage, the cemetery, the electric division, the parks and forestry, and public property for $6,236,148.20.
So moved.
Mr. President,
Yes.
May I just make a?
Of course.
comment here?
Yeah.
Thanks. I am in support of this budget, but I have to admit to being a little frustrated with the lack of the understanding to detail. And just as a, overall hope that next year that we can work towards more transparency in it, just so that we can increase the public trust across the board. Because I have faith that these dollars, these monies are allocated professionally, but I believe that it would help government to be just a hair more transparent. I have asked for the equipment lines and haven't received them. And, that I've accepted that, but I find it unfortunate. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Ames. So we had all in favor, aye?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Counselor Houseman, you're in dynamite on the motion. Keep it up. Well, you know how much sometimes you're like waiting.
Can't even get one in none.
I know, that's good, that's good, that's... Because if I look up and down, I think Counselor Houseman will be the dean come January. Community services, we have Health, Council on Aging, Veteran Services, the Library and Recreation for $4,320,763.68.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, yeah, roll call. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. School budget is the Beverly Public Schools as well as the Northeast Regional Vocational School for a total budget of $67,274,926.00.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Now we're messing with Miss Dixon, who's trying to take notes.
You weren't ready for that, Counselor.
You beat him.
It's amazing what seeing the Frady's family and Judith Cronin in here will put everybody in such a good mood. It's really something. They're an amazing family. Debt service at $10,923,584.93.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Annuities and pensions, $12,004,594.00.
So moved. Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Other, which includes things that we have to deal with, workers' comp, unemployment, health insurance, and that line item is, I have to add that up, I don't have the line.
Right here?
Second page.
Total.
Oh, there it is. I need glasses. Life insurance, payroll tax, that's $11,648,263.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Ms. Kent, you're not allowed to make a motion.
I just said I wish I could see you add that up.
Oh, yeah. We've been through that before, with the clerk trying to make a motion. Oh, I might get a phone call. Assessments, $1,783,062.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And I would ask that we approve a total general fund budget of $144,180,396.
So moved.
Mr. President, can I say something just
Yes.
briefly? Thank you. I am going to vote in favor of this general fund, and I've been trying to figure out just the right spot to just say a little something, so thank you. I just wanted to mention for the conversation publicly, I've spent, and maybe some of you have too, the past, I don't know, week or so since we talked about the stabilization fund and residents in our community who really need substantial help and support. And Councillor Feldman asked the question, when would we use this money? And as I recall, Mr. Perry said that's a conversation that would be good for us to have going forward. And so I went down the path of several ideas about what I thought we could maybe do with the money, and how we could provide some relief, and Mr. Perry was very helpful to me in understanding why those particular uses of the stabilization fund, and I guess if it's helpful, you can elaborate on what I'm saying, but wouldn't be allowable. And so what I wanted to just say, I guess, for our future conversation, and just to put out there, Mr. Mayor, to you and your administration, sort of my commitment to you, and I think I heard it coming from many of my colleagues. I know we have the ARPA and the CARES money that will be coming. I know we've heard and talked about need in our community after a tough year. And so if there's a possibility that we can work collaboratively together with you and your administration to determine how we can best and most creatively use that money. I know that's a commitment that you would make anyway, but I would love to be part of working collectively and collaboratively to think how we can reach the most of our residents, the most of people who are hurting after a hard year and with that money. And also just thinking about ways that we can, when we next certify free cash, have some of that conversation that Councilor Feldman, I think, opened the door to, which is rather than perhaps deposit all of that in the stabilization fund, what can we do that maybe we haven't thought yet of doing that's different than what we've done before that could really help some of our residents. So those are just some of my thoughts. I'm going to vote for the budget, but just wanted to, I think, say publicly some of the thoughts I was having, and hope, Mr. Mayor, that we could maybe embark on some really creative work together with the ARPA funds and CARE money. I'll give you a thumbs up back.
Very well said, Councilor Flowers. Thank you.
you.
You want to say something at the end? Okay. Councilor Ames?
Thank you for those comments. They were really helpful. And one of the things that had crossed my mind as well is perhaps if some of the stabilization fund money moving forward could even go to the water sewer enterprise fund, so it wouldn't impact on funds moving forward, but maybe not for this year, but moving forward, help people with their water bill across the board. And then the one last thing that I have a hope moving forward is that we take a hard look at the Council on Aging budget, because I think their physical plant as well as their staff really could use some help, because I think it is a hub of services, whether they be cultural, housing, food insecurity across the board for our seniors. And I think that's important, especially as so many people on fixed incomes, this 2.5% tax increase that we'll be approving hits them very hard. So I think there's opportunity there for us to be able to deliver more for 25% of the population. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Ames. Anybody else? So the motion is to approve a total general fund of, I'll read it again, $144,180,396.
So moved.
Second.
A second time.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 9-0. And we'll approve total general fund revenues at that same figure, $144,180,396.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And I was looking at the first budget that I sat here with, the total budget for this year was 68 million. Crazy. Now we'll do our special revenue accounts, correct, Mr. Rales?
Correct.
So we'll go to the water fund. I would entertain a motion to approve expenditures and revenues for $5,839,000.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And I would entertain a motion to approve transfer of retained earnings into FY '21 at $900,000.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And I'd entertain a motion to approve a rate per 100 cubic feet at $3.17.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Sewer fund, expenditures and revenues at $953,145.73.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And the transfer of retained earnings into FY '21 of $805,145.73.
So moved.
Second?
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And the rate per 100 cubic feet at $6.24.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Sanitation and recycling, the figure is for expenditures and revenues at $3,555,500.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. The Recreation Enterprise Fund, expenditures and revenues at $443,575.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And the transfer of retained earnings into FY '21 of $80,000.
So moved. Second.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Could I just make a clarification, because I realized there was a typo.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, these transfers, that there's been 3 of them now that have been motioned.
FY '22?
Should be into FY '22.
Yeah,
Sorry for that.
that's okay. We'll fix that, correct, Ms. Kent?
Correct.
Okay. Did we do the retained earnings? We did, right?
Yep.
So we're on to the Golf and Tennis Enterprise Fund.
I
Total,
believe that needs the retained earnings needs a vote.
We missed that one?
I interrupted you
Okay.
before you got to vote.
motion to approve?
So, second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Thank you, Mr. Ailes. Golf and Tennis Enterprise Fund, expenditures and total revenues for $380,000.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0, and it looks great up there. I had to make 2 Uber runs there this afternoon. One for drop-off and one for pickup. Those ones you don't get paid for, right? Great being a dad. Senior Citizen Enterprise Fund, we're going to go expenditures and total revenues at $35,196.
So moved.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0, and the transfer of retained earnings into FY '22 at $12,476.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. And now we've, last but certainly not least, we have the Airport Enterprise Funds expenditures and total revenues at $551,513.64.
So moved. Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Mr. Ailes, I think that we got everybody, everything.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Counselors, appreciate all the dialogue this year and all your support.
Well, special thanks to you as Finance Director, and Mayor Cahill as the CEO of the city, and of course, our budget analyst who goes through everything for us. And, you know, it really helps that the 3 of you work really well together. And he's not afraid to tell you, hey, this is a different way to do things. But, no, we're very lucky. Does anybody have anything else to add?
I want to add a quick thing.
Yeah, Council Flaherty.
Yes, just to sum it up from finance and property, it looks easy if you're watching on TV tonight, a lot of 9-0 votes, but I think this is a pretty good budget. I think we worked closely with the schools and made sure that, you know, they had the money they needed, and obviously it helped with, you know, COVID money for the city and for the schools. But overall, I think this is a pretty good budget. Is it a perfect budget? No. Could we pick, you know, $10,000 here and $15,000 here? We possibly could have done that. But I know, Council, you talked about transparency, and I know there's a concern. For me personally, again, not a perfect budget. Every time I ask, if you or the mayor or anybody in your department, I receive those answers. Is it sometimes, could this be a better document, and we can improve on that when I'm gone? Yes, but I feel comfortable asking those questions and getting some of the answers from your administration, Mayor. So I appreciate that. I've been doing this for a number of years, and some councils have cut, you know, $100,000 and then it goes back to the mayor, and it's just back and forth, and it doesn't always, at the end of the day, you wonder where it gets us. I think it behooves this council, and the next finance and property chairman, and the next council president, throughout the year, to go over the capital improvement budgets, to bring Mr. Ailes in, to kind of ask those questions on a weekly basis. So I think this helps us. It helps us educate. It's cities and towns, school departments, they get squeezed from the federal government, from the state government. There's not a lot of wiggle room, percentage-wise, to make a lot of changes. We could do a few things in the stabilization fund, but also it's a few years ago we didn't have a stabilization fund. And where was our bond rating? I think it was Powers and Sullivan was probably one of the ones who kind of said, you need a stabilization fund. And that's why our bond rating is going up, and that's why we're able to build police stations in schools, because the city is in good financial shape. And that helps the whole city in general. It helps the schools, it helps other departments, it helps the Council on Aging. Could we help improve that? Absolutely. But the city's in pretty good shape. It's not in perfect shape, but you have to be careful spending too much money in the long run. But I think we as a city and the council do a pretty good job. Not an excellent job. There's always room for improvement, always room for changes. It's always good to have new councilors aboard, because sometimes, that's why, as much as I, look back and go, geez, should I change my mind and run again? But I think it's good, because I think Mr. Guanci would try to say the same thing. It's good to have new faces and fresh faces, and a good mix of people on the school committee and the city council. And it's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. I'm kind of going on here a little bit, but it is a little disappointing that we don't have a lot of people running. And I know it has come over a difficult year, but we don't have a lot of people running. You have 2 at-large councilors, longtime councilors that aren't running, and you don't have a lot of people running. And you can say, well, that's a good thing, because the city's in good shape, but there is a lot of apathy out there, and you want to be able to connect with people. And I hope people do run in the future to make changes, because I think by having some fresh faces on this council every couple of years is a good thing. So again, I'm going a little long-winded here, but I just wanted to say that this is a good budget, not a perfect budget, and I feel proud of the work that we've done together. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. You know something? When you first started, I thought that here he goes. He's going to say, you know what? I'm in again. And then you wrapped it up. But thank you, Tim. You've been the inspiration for so many people that have decided to run for office over the years, and namely me. And even though I'm a little older than you, were a tremendous help back in the day. Anybody else? Mayor Cahill.
Thanks, Mr. President. I just want to say a few thank yous. First off, to you 2 gentlemen. The rest of us are running and hope to be here next year. But we know you won't be, so we'll all say thanks many more times this year, but being the end of your last budget, you 2 have been fantastic to work with. Great partners, great leaders in our city, so thank you both.
Thank you.
I want to thank all you partners on the council. You've all done great work throughout this 2-year term, throughout the pandemic, and throughout this budget process. And I want to say the same thanks to my colleagues on the school committee. Mrs. Visnick is with us, and our other colleagues on the school committee who aren't, and the school administration, have all done fantastic work on this year's budget, and for that matter, on everything that's gone on the last 15 months plus. And a thank you to all the wonderful employees in this community who do such great work day in and day out, and to all of our department heads and the team in the finance departments who've done such great work. You mentioned Mr. Perry. He's been a wonderful partner and does his job incredibly well on behalf of the council and the people of Beverly. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to BevCam, always. Thank you to the clerk's office, particularly Lisa and Christine. And the last thank you is to Mr. Ailes. He always does a fantastic job. He's always completely professional. And this has been, as we all know, just a very unique year. We're grateful that there has been federal money that has come, so I would never complain. It has meant a lot of extra work on him, on his plate and on his department. And we're all thankful to have that work. But the last thing I want to say about Mr. Ailes is, some of you have heard the story. When I first was elected mayor, I asked him to get lunch, and he didn't know why. Thought we were just going to chat about, about his neighborhood and the community. And I said, Brian, we, the city, need you to come to work as the city's finance director. And he said, yeah, but I already have a job. So fortunately, he had a fantastic job, and it really took some convincing. But we are so fortunate, so lucky that he did that he came over and started working on behalf of the people of Beverly. And I can't imagine not having him here. So just want to say thank you for everything you do day in and day out throughout the year. Really is what the thanks is for. This budget is typical of your work. It is outstanding and fantastic. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mayor Cahill. Anybody else? Councilor Copeland.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. It was always a great process, especially going through the first budget and being able to work with Councilors Ronci and Flaherty, who I've known for many years. And also, moving forward, as many of the councilors have hinted at, one of the things that I'm excited about is our ability to reimagine how we engage with some of these things. So when we look at different funds, we look at rainy day funds and so forth, and how we can maybe distribute those a little bit differently. I think those are conversations that we're going to be looking forward to having, and that will begin to shape the scope of the city and the things that we're able to accomplish. And the great part about that is we won't have to wait until the budget season. We'll start those right away. As soon as the council gets up and running, and those will continue even from now. So I think come next budget, we'll be able to do some great things that we might not have thought about before, or be able to reimagine how we distribute funds, but still keep the city strong and grow it from there. So I'm excited about that process, excited to be here, and I'll miss you two guys, but I've known you before this, I'll know you after.
You know where to find us.
Definitely, I know where to find you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the support, and looking forward to continue forward and growing.
Thank you, Dominic. Great first 6 months. A lot more to come. Anybody else? I bet the over, and the over was 8:30 today. Councilor Houseman, you sure you don't have anything?
Councilor Houseman, we're good. I got the end.
I will say this, Mr. President. I do want to wholeheartedly agree with the mayor about the professionalism and the great work that Mr. Ailes does. He, I think, does a terrific job for the council and for the city, and I greatly appreciate and enjoy working with him.
Yeah, I mean, everybody will tell you the same thing, but sometimes you say everything happens for a reason, and 6 or 8 years ago, Mr. Ailes thought he really wanted to be up here sitting in one of these seats, and I guess God sent us a gift. He didn't win. Mayor Cahill did, and offered him the finance director's job, and there's been nobody more professional in the entire city. All the department heads are great to work with, but Mr. Ailes goes above and beyond to make sure that the councilors not only know what's going on, but understand what's going on. And the fact that him and Mr. Perry have a history and they work well together, the city is well served. And years ago, Nelson Benton, who's passed away, always said that Beverly was well served because the executive branch and the legislative branch always got together, and he used to compare us to the nonsense that went on in Salem and Peabody, and that we never had that here. If we've ever had real disagreements, we've done it behind closed doors, tried to iron things out before it became political theater, and I think we've done a good job doing that. Not that I discourage political theater, because I'll be watching at home. But we still got a few more meetings to go. So, Councilor Rotundo, you win. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, motion carries 9-0. Thank you, everybody.